An old man with a mop in his hand and tears in his eyes rushed towards the plane. He was going to stop the plane with his own flesh and blood. Everyone thought he was crazy. Only Victor knew why. Because the country is at war. Visas and passports are invalid. Victor had been stuck at the airport for 3 months. That day, the supervisor came up with another way to get rid of him. He told Victor that all you had to do was to say that you were afraid of your own war-torn country and I would grant you political asylum. That way you can walk out of the airport with a clean slate. But no matter how much the supervisor tried to fool Victor, he wouldn't fall for it. And that made the supervisor even more furious. He vowed that as long as he was here, Victor would never set foot in New York. One morning not long after that, Victor suddenly got the good news that his friend told him the war was over. It turned out that peace had returned to Victor's country. His friends celebrated the fact that he was finally free to go to New York. But when he excitedly presented his papers to Jesse for stamping, Jesse said that this kind of visa required the signature of a supervisor. Victor knew the superintendent would give him a hard time, but he didn't realize that the director would threaten him with his friend. The supervisor said, "You can go back to your country, but you can't go to New York or your friend will be in trouble. First of all, the delivery guy brought you into the airport kitchen several times. That's a violation. I could lose his job for that. And the janitor. He's a fugitive who stabbed a man in India. Then he smuggled himself into the US and hid out until now. I could have him deported in a minute." After hearing that, Victor was scared and had to give up going to New York for his friends. The janitor, who knew he was going back to his country, didn't understand and even yelled at him.
"You are a coward! You are a coward!"
At this point, the police officer could not stand it any longer, so he told the cleaner the truth. When Victor was waiting for the plane, a shocking scene appeared. The janitor, with a mop in his hand, rushed towards the plane. He used his weak body to stop the plane, causing Victor's flight home to be delayed. Everyone was shocked by him.
"I'm going home! Get lost!"
Victor was touched by the old man's sacrifice for himself. At this moment, he knew what he had to do. He was going to walk out of the airport and go to New York to fulfill his father's last wish. When the airport staff heard the news, they dropped their work and came to see Victor off. But when he arrived at the gate, he was met by a large group of guards. The first guard told Victor to turn around. Victor thought they were coming to arrest him, but it turned out to be.
It's snowing in the city and you're gonna need that. Good luck.